Welcome to the CFG Game Cast, episode number 222, a weekly podcast created by gamers and streamers that like to discuss the latest gaming topics from the previous week. We stream a new episode weekly and release it on all podcast services, so do us a favor and show us some love by liking, following, and subscribing to our YouTube channel, the CFG channel, or go to our main website, confreaksandgeeks.com, to not miss an episode. If you want to throw some ducats our way and support the podcast in any way, you can by becoming a VIP member on our website, the CFG.store. We'll for some extra goodies, swag, shirts, buttons, what have you. Anyways, I am Mr. CFG Games himself, Davis Green, and with me today, I got my two awesome co-hosts. I got Lex in the second seat. What is going on, my cyborg?
I've been reading. I know. I did play with the Spoopy crew. We went back and played In Silence. I haven't played that in so long. Okay, so update for a lot of people who are interested in mine chromas. With games that are super dark like In Silence, I can see better. I do still have to turn my gamma way up. So do I need to find my monitor filters again? Probably. Which are if you don't know, they're basically like gels that you put over your screen. You just like flip them back and forth. They're pretty great. But the new map, I think we were in Russia. Correct me if I'm wrong, Nightmare. But you're in this like very cold environment, and you don't only see your breath, like you see like a mist of like snow, maybe is what it's supposed to be. That is not what it translates to my eyes. It was very difficult for me to navigate that map. Yes, Russia. Thank you, Drago. To get the helicopter fixed. I could not see the scraps of metal for a hot minute. I wish games where you're having to look for an item this big on a piece of floor, would like highlight it a little bit for you, just give you a little help, but yeah, as far as gaming, that's kind of all I did this week. I was reading. I'm in the throes of another Sarah J Maas series called Throne of Glass. It's really good. Also been teaching a little dude how to behave like a proper gentleman. It's not working yet, but he does know how to sit, which is great. That's kind of and he can circle, but that's it. That's all I got for you. I was very boring this week.
And DBD apparently is what you also played. So there you go.
Yeah. Oh, I didn't. I missed Tuesday because I had friends in town. That's right. I did have friends in town. I've talked about this particular friend. He's kind of famous on social media now. His wife, I'm friends with her since like middle school. Well, and him. They were in town, so we got to go eat dinner with them, which was fantastic.
Do I know who you're talking about?
Holly, and then her husband Tyler, he has downcycle.com. Yeah. Which I was trying to get something for you. I bought some stuff for Adam's birthday through him, and it put me in a drawing for a painting called The Renaissance Men, which was a Ninja Turtles painting. I was hoping that I would get it for you. I lost, but it's okay. I'll try again.
That's right. I appreciate the thought.
I know. I was like, dang it. But yeah, it was great to see them. It's really nice to catch up with an old friend. I have time in my life now to invest in friendships that I've not let to the wayside. But, time happens, and high school is a long time ago. And so you live in different states. It's hard to keep up with friends. But now I have that extra time in my life to catch up with people, and it's really nice. And it's nice having a non-toxic friendship. She gave me the most beautiful box of like curated birthday gifts because we're both in May. I sent her some stuff. She brought hers with her, and it was really sweet. It was really nice. So I was happy to see them.
Hey Lex.
Yeah.
Do you know the person that can't wait to watch the 50th version of the Hunger Games?
Oh yeah.
Sunrise on the Reaping.
Wait, what? His name is
the 5-star general of the itty bitty Smitty committee. I got Smitty in the third seat. What's going on, my dude?
Yo, it has been a long week. Destiny 2, the final shape, came out on Tuesday. The servers were terrible, but I've got to say, they stuck the landing, and I can confirm that I bawled like a baby. Well done by the team over at Bungie. The world's first raid got completed 18 hours, 51 minutes in, making it the longest day one raid in the history of raids, which unlocked a separate mission, which was, again, no spoilers right now. I'll let people go in and do it themselves. But let's just say, they did it. I felt like they stuck the landing on this, other than the server issues. So I've been tired. I mean, I was up till like 2 or 3 last night. I started at like 9:45 playing. We at least got through the first encounter on the challenge mode, so I felt like we at least accomplished something.
The first encounter. Okay, first off,
Jesus, what does that even mean?
Hours.
Elaborate a
so
little.
there's 5 encounters in total.
Yeah, how long was the first
Encounters
encounter?
with what? The third kind? Like what?
What?
The first
Encounters
boss.
of the third. Oh shoot!
Essentially, just the first boss. Yeah, the
Oh.
first.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How many? 9?
10.
I would
10
have fallen
hours.
asleep. There's no way.
No. Well, there was a
10
break.
hours.
There was a decent break in there as well, but we were going. We finished at like 1:30, 2 o'clock last night, or this morning rather.
This
So
is
we at least felt we accomplished something. And you got to remember, these first 2 days, this is challenge mode, so it's way harder than what the normal raid is going to be.
This is the but here's the thing though. This is a funny thing to me. So yesterday when Smitty was doing it, Smitty decided, oh yeah, let me stream my my adventures in the raid, and he started early. Like he started what time did you start? Like 11?
9:45.
9 your time?
9:45.
Okay,
yeah.
so I was like, oh, he's streaming today, so it
So
must
that's
be
11 your time.
It must be raid day. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. So I was like, okay, cool. Let him do his thing. So I didn't get on stream until 4 my time because of the Summer Game Fest. And he was still streaming, and I was like, oh, okay. So they're still raiding. I was like, I didn't think nothing of it. I finish my stream 3 hours later. I go to bed early and wake up at 12 or 1 o'clock my time. He is still playing this game. And then I was like, at that time you weren't streaming, you were off.
No,
but you were, But I was watching Zuzu on stream, and I was like, oh, okay, he's on the party there, and then y'all were still going at it. And I asked him, I was like, oh, so how far did y'all go? It's like, no, we're still fighting the first boss. I'm like, first boss? Y'all been fighting this thing for 10 hours, and y'all haven't advanced this whole time? Dude, I would have flipped the table. People were stuck.
Well, I think the second and third encounter, you just get to these spots where you get stuck, dude. It was so hard. It was so hard. And the first 2 encounters alone are time based. So there's time mechanics, and it just wipes.
Oh no.
It was brutal.
Okay, but here's something I don't get. Why is it so important to finish it that day? Is I guess
you get a special. There's like a special. Yeah. Number one, there's a whole world first race.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
you didn't know
people
this?
usually,
I knew that.
Yeah, people use it with their clans and stuff like that. They'll have people that'll run through raids and stuff like that. So, it's just, especially within that, think of it like an MMO, is how they treat it. And, it's just always raids, man. Raids that's where the special loot is. Yeah. That's what continues the story. And it's a big deal.
No, I understand.
They've made it a big deal.
You get special stuff you get special stuff for being the first one too.
I understand that, but y'all even said prior to that y'all weren't really aiming for world's first.
We knew we couldn't.
Y'all knew y'all couldn't do it, but y'all weren't going to do it.
We couldn't. But there was a time where a lot of people were stuck on that first level. And it's just getting the mechanics and then staying alive, and because that's the other thing, you only have 6 revive tokens. So as a team,
did you guys die and have to start over a couple times?
You've been on the line for 10 now.
You get a checkpoint.
Okay. I was like, wait a minute, I don't know checkpoints, because I would be so pissed. I would stuff
after each encounter, there's
I'm
a checkpoint.
surprised that y'all know nothing was damaged inside your room or something at this point in 10 hours. That's all I'm saying.
Right?
Because
Dude, if you've raided
you
before,
wouldn't do
you
that.
know what to expect.
So, yeah.
I would never expect to do a 10-hour session of this. Yeah.
On a challenging, it's going to be way harder than what the actual raid is going to be on normal levels. So, you just want to see how good you are. And
how many hours did it take the first team that succeeded with all 5 encounters of the third kind? How long did they say how many hours it took them in total?
18 hours, 51 minutes. Officially the longest raid in Destiny history.
Oh my God.
The one previous was The Last Wish, which took 18 hours and what was it, like 20 something minutes or something like that. So it was hard.
That's just atrocious, dude. Seriously.
No, that's amazing. That's great atrocious. Job. Great job on creating something that because that's been a complaint in the past, is that there's been a couple raids that have been like maybe a few hours or a couple hours. Like this was like brutal. Like this is like test your might. You know what I mean? Type of stuff. And that's what that's the challenge that people are looking for.
Maybe it's
no different than people playing Dark Souls.
Oh, no doubt. But
it's just the whole game is just that mode.
There is a big difference. the big difference on Dark Souls is that you could choose, you don't get stuck on one boss and you're stuck there for that long, and then you have to keep on fighting the same boss for
only the best of the best. That's what dude, it's a proven ground thing too. Cause they put that stuff up and have records and stuff like that, like the top 5 teams or, whatever. So even being recognized, especially in this type of day and age, social media and things like that, getting that kind of a recognition on an official Destiny raid would be huge for any type of content creator.
Yeah.
Not even a content creator, even if you're not, dude. Just
the irony is that the people that got it, the raid, didn't even stream it. So right? Did you say those people were off stream and they got it?
So, but that doesn't mean that they're not content creators.
That's true.
You know what I mean? Yeah.
Well,
so
congratulations.
and they definitely are going to be known now within the Destiny community.
Okay, listen, I'm not saying, I'm for a challenge. I love challenging games. I mean, if you know a little bit about me, I always put everything on the hardest difficulty on it. But I'm just saying that I don't know if I have it. I don't have the moxie anymore, probably in me, to decide to say, I'm going to keep on going at it after 10 hours after this first boss. I'll be like, okay, I need rest. I'll come back to it again and then reorganize and then attack that thing directly. I just can't do 10 hours straight.
It'll be the last time that I raid like that. I won, you know what I mean? I've done it only 3 or 4 other raids have I ever, been a part of a team for World First Race. And, it's just getting that challenge. And that's part of the thing. A lot of the time of the game is spent being overpowered. So when you get something that's new and challenging, it's about figuring out the mechanics, working as a team and communicating with the other members to be able to accomplish this goal, these puzzles or whatever. That's the enjoyment out of it, at least for me. I know it's not for everybody.
Yeah.
But I didn't understand that until I played Destiny.
Right.
But it's very much an MMO thing for sure.
Right. Well, that's cool. Hey, you're definitely getting your time and your money's worth for it. So there you go. So, but yeah, that's going to be cool. But anyways, that's for me, man. I've been, I've always been busy. I'm still, it's funny. I'm still stuck on that same damn boss on V Rising. I've tried everything on this thing and I can't even deal with I cannot beat this guy. This guy is just really annoying to me. So I decided to take a break. Then I decided to start looking after looking at some stuff for Summer Game Fest from yesterday. Then streamed Summer Game Fest. The only thing I streamed last previous week was Summer Game Fest. But I am also going to be streaming the Microsoft conference tomorrow as well. So we'll see how that's going to go from there. So it's going to be cool. Dust, you said, I remember when Sweater first dropped and spent 10 hours on the first end game raid, and the whole group was like that this was short. I did the first end game, but yeah, I did that raid too, with this that raid too, and it I think we did it I don't think we did it in one sitting. I think we ended up not doing it, and then like I think a week and a half later we got it. We were able to get it, but like, yeah, we were sitting down, we were messing around for about 4.5 to 5 hours, and we're just like, we're not getting anywhere. We just need to get better equipment, which we did, and then knock that thing out, or knock the series out, because it was the thing was a little confusing initially. But then that sucks us too, because Sweater was that was the only raid that Sweater had at the time too. So for like forever until the expansion came out. Yeah, but those were the days. But anyways, I know y'all don't want to talk about raid strategies and then wanting to see how long it took us to beat these things. So let's go through the normal rigmarole that we like to do each and every week. So each of us chooses a topic of discussions in the world of video games from the previous week. The topic would or could be a game itself or something that happened in the gaming industry. And we don't want to talk about it amongst ourselves. We want you, the listeners and viewers on Twitch, YouTube, Kick, and now on Twitter, to be a part of the conversation. So if there's something you wanted to chime in about on whatever we talk about, we always leave that open. Type it inside the chat. We'd love to discuss it out with everyone that's listening, and we will go from there. So anyways, I will go first. I know I didn't tell y'all the order this time, my mistake, but I'm pretty sure you assumed this was going to happen, but still, yeah. So I was going first, and I'm going to talk about the Summer Game Fest. So yesterday, Summer Game Fest happened. It finally happened. Rest in peace, E3. It's weird to see like now the big dog now is SGF. And stuff. So they came in, they had for 2 hours. I mean, this was a 2 hour event. For 2 hours, they were actually pretty good on pacing themselves on the amount of game announcements that came out, this year, which was pretty cool. So, they had a lot of different games. They had a lot of different kinds of thrilling announcements, and you know what's funny, like I think this is the first year I had absolutely no expectations. Like I didn't even know I didn't care like at all. I mean, I don't know if it was just me or whatnot, but I was perfectly fine with just like, just let's see what's coming out. Let's see what else is out. And you know what? I think we kind of needed that, because most of the times, like we were wondering what the core studios or proprietary studios, and we know that since Sony's on a lull this year, we knew that there was not going to be any big AAA games. I wanted to kind of know what else is out there from other outside studios that was coming in. And I think Game Fest, the Summer Game Fest did a fairly good job on doing that, mixed with, it wasn't just, and the cool thing I loved about this was it wasn't just a Summer Game Fest that happened. Also, like immediately after that was Day of the Devs. So we had like a lot of different kinds of dev showcase. And then earlier today was a PC showcase that lasted about an hour and a half, which was really cool. So there was a lot of different little shows that are happening. And then tomorrow is the exclusive Microsoft showcase. So there's a lot of stuff that's going to be in the mix.
IGN Live's happening right now.
Yeah, IGN. Yeah, so I mean, IGN's probably going to have a field day for the next week or so, because I think next week is going to be. Did Nintendo announce a Nintendo Direct? I'm not sure.
I haven't seen anything about a Direct.
Me neither.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
I don't know what they could possibly. I mean, yeah, I don't know. I haven't heard anything about them.
Okay, well, we'll see. We'll hope. Well, Nintendo will do Nintendo things, which is basically whatever the hell they want. So, but anyways, but yeah. So the first thing that they announced, which I'm a little bit surprised about this. This may not be my cup of tea. Maybe it might be for you. Maybe either yours or Lexus. But they're making a Horizon Lego game. That was the very first announcement that they announced. That they're gonna have a story with the Lego versions of Aloy in the Horizon world, but it's gonna have the goofiness of with the Lego series that everyone like knows and loves in it, which is you know what, I'm for it, but the thing that I'm surprised about is that this is going to be a multi-platform game. This is made by Guerrilla too, which is or Guerrilla Games was a part of making this. So a Sony game that's actually not going to be a Sony exclusive. It's going to be on the Nintendo Switch. Yeah, it's going to be on the Nintendo Switch, and it will be also on the PC. So I was like, wow, okay, well that's pretty cool. That's something that was new and wasn't expected. So there was also a game called No More Room in Hell 2, which I didn't even know there was a one of this, but it looked actually pretty. It didn't look half bad. Oh, have you played that, Smitty? No More Room.
What'd you say it was called?
No More Room in Hell.
I feel like I never played it, but I feel like I've seen somebody play it, or I've seen something of it. I had heard of that game before.
Yeah.
Oh, you have?
It sounds
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, so like basically, yeah, well, I mean, there was a trailer for it, and then I saw that, and I was like, wow, this actually doesn't look half bad. So I'm like, kind of like, I put a little asterisk to say, come back to this one. This might be a good one. So we'll see what that's going to go. And then also, they also announced a Quidditch game that's coming out this September 3rd. Which was kind of weird. Well, it's not really weird. It was they said that they were going to make
weird to Smitty and I.
Yeah, they were going to make a Quidditch. They said they were going to make a Quidditch game that was going to be apart from the Harry Potter, the Hogwarts Legacy. They did, but the style looks a lot different than what you would remember from how Hogwarts Legacy looks like. So, it's going to be coming this September. So, if you're anyone who is waiting out for a Quidditch game, well, you don't have to wait that much longer. Also, there's a new IP that's coming out called Cuff Bust, and I don't remember much about that one. That one didn't look well. That one's I remember. It was like a solo. It was a person that makes his own games, like one person studio that made his own games, and it was basically trying to escape prison or something. So that's going to come out next year, here in the future. Then close though. But anyways, so there's then Star Wars Outlaws, which this is what really pisses me off.
I won't do it.
Like Star Wars Outlaws did a preview on this Summer Game Fest that lasted 10 seconds. What the hell was that?
I'm so shocked.
What's the point of even? And then what's even worse is that there's like not showing any gameplay, just showing the same
title.
Just it's Star Wars Outlaws. Yeah, it's ridiculous. I was like, what is that? You might as well just wait until Ubisoft Forward that comes out next. That's going to happen next week. Like, what was that? Anyways. Stupid wasted
about us.
Wasted everyone's time with that nonsense. I was just like, oh god, dude, come on. Then also there was a really cutesy indie game called Neva. That was like, it was a little girl, a girl with a wolf that like slowly grows into this thing. Looks really really nice, little artsy. Kind of gives me like it's a 2D scroller kind of, so that one was pretty nice. But one of the things that I think people are missing out or is really haven't said anything about is Civilization 7, the official announcement of Civilization 7. Because man, I don't know if I don't think you've ever really played Civ. But
are you talking to me?
Yeah, you don't know Civilization.
Are you freaking kidding me?
You know what's funny? Okay. Here's the thing about Civilization, and this is the funniest thing about Civilization. Civilization is one of the most popular IPs that no one knows about. It is so freaking weird.
I love
Isn't
Civ,
it weird?
dude.
Yeah.
I played Civ since back in the day. RTS, strategy games, all that stuff are my secret. Like, that's what I play chilling out late at night if I'm doing work or something. I want to game a little bit. It's things like that. And I will get lost in those games.
I would play I would play Civilization literally for hours, and it's like, but like I said, but am I wrong? Like Civilization is a 2K game. No one knows like there is a gigantic fan base of this series, but but you don't hear a peep of it until even when the announcement comes out. They're like, wow, I'm surprised this thing has like right now on YouTube, 3 million views on this on YouTube.
I'm not surprised.
Number 8 on trending right now, and I'm like, but it's funny because it's a game that no one ever talks about, because you always remember like the God of Wars, you remember all the other stuff, craziness, but no one says, oh, you know what, Civ 6. Like, or anything like that. No one says it. But no, I love Civ, dude. Civilization 7. And then they also showed, and then Sid Meier's himself was talking about it, which is freaking amazing. I thought he passed away a long time ago, but no, he's still kicking. I didn't know that.
Yeah, I thought Sid Meier's was somebody, like just somebody from the past. Like a person. Like I had no idea where that came from.
Like the Johnny Carson show?
Yeah, you know, like oh yeah, Sid
Meier's sounds like he just made the name off the cuff, like without them coming out.
Exactly. It's like that can't pass, but that's got to be like a fictional person, like Mark Twain. Mark Twain was a real person. Hold on,
but oh my god,
right, Mark Twain.
Yeah, like all the imaginary people, like Abraham Lincoln and Malcolm X.
Yeah.
I don't know reality you guys are living in.
I've heard of that comic book.
Yeah.
So all these fakers, you know, just all these people. Yeah. Just like Paul Bunyan or something like that. Yeah.
Did he have a buffalo or something?
Babe, Big Blue? Yeah, Big Blue, Babe the Ox. Yeah. So Civilization is coming out. There's no date on when Civ 7 is going to happen. If there is going to, it just said it's coming in 2025. So if it's coming in 2025, Smitty and I we're definitely going to have to play it, dude. Oh, I'm definitely going to put it on my wish list. Yeah, this game
is it going to be on Game Pass?
I didn't say. It's way too out. It's not coming until next year. So probably might as well just forget that it even exists right now.
Oh, that's exactly what will happen.
Yeah, so
that's exactly what will happen.
Yeah, so there's a lot. I mean, there was a really cool thing. Oh, there was another game that was also very interesting that I was wanting to play, and it was called Black Myth Wukong, which was basically like, you know, Sayuki Journey to the West, that kind of story. You're playing Son Goku, the Monkey King, in this one, and then
I remember seeing that.
Yeah, so the coolest thing about that is that it is going to be this game is going to be it looks like it's going to be a Souls-like game. It's going to have some pretty cool stuff in it. I can't wait. It's coming out. It's coming out August 20th. Here's the thing that doesn't make any sense to me about this game. So the physical release game is going to be they're going to have a physical release copy of it. Perfectly fine. If you want a physical collector's edition of it, you got to get the PC version of the game, and then the PC version will come with the steel bookcase and then all the extra tchotchkes that they usually like to do in these collector's editions. And then there's a statue that comes with one of these collector's editions that marks the price up to $400 in this game for this game. Yes, and I'm
for Civ.
No, this is for the Wukong, dude. The Black Wukong.
The Black Wukong.
Sorry.
Yeah, a brand new IP, man. Like, I'm just like, wow, dude. Y'all are going that ham. So yeah. So that's happening to whatever. One that I'm actually interested in that I'm looking forward to checking out is Space Marines 2. From the Warhammer series. The first Space Marines came out about 10 years ago, like 2011, I believe. This is the first time that it's coming back. It's a 3-player co-op play, so you can play with other people and stuff. So this was going to be really a really cool one. I don't know what it is, but I feel like this is going to be something that would be interesting to check out, because like I'm not even a big I'm not a big Warhammer. I don't know anything about the lore about Warhammer very much, so let alone space what's called Space Marines, but I've always liked how they looked, especially when you see people cosplay them and they're with their stilts because they're like 12 feet tall 9 times out of 10.
I believe they're 16 feet in the game, 16 or 17 feet tall.
Yeah, I mean, these things look like freaking like human transformers, you know. essentially. Yeah. So Warhammer 40K. Yeah. So like this game is, this theoretically, out of all the Warhammer games, because Warhammer spreads themselves thin when it comes to IPs. They have like different companies always making a different game of them. Space Marines is the Space Marine game is the most popular one. It just took them over 10 years to make. So this one's so I'm definitely going to check this one out and see how this is going to go. If I can find some other people to play it too is another thing though too. So we'll see.
Well, and Dust will get it the second it comes out for sure.
We've
been watching all the 40K like Warhammer stuff.
Yeah,
they have like a whole like cinematic series. It's really cool.
There's a whole everything about that. It's too overwhelming for me.
It's incredible.
It's so good.
There's it's just such a big lore. Like there's like the one about like saying like, yeah, there's like a job where you're going to die because you need to put the radioactive engine inside the ship. The ship, so your position is like when you go in, it's like you're not coming back out. And I'm like, wow, you think they would find a better way of using fuel resources instead of having humans to do it? I mean, use machinery or something. Anyways, I digress. So during that time too, on the Summer Game Fest, also the creators of Persona 3, 4, and 5 came out. They discussed more about the upcoming game that they're bringing in this fall called Metaphor Re-Fantasio. Apparently, they were going to be doing something about this game. They did show a little bit of gameplay. I'm not going to even show the video of it because it would waste anyone's time. It was like 30 seconds of a view of it, but it was literally like But they did explain that there's going to be job classes. That's how you're going to learn. Like so, there's going to be different classes. Like you'll have a gunner, tank, and stuff like that. Metaphor. Yeah, it's an RPG. It's an RPG though. So like so this one this one may not be up to everyone's alley. I'm still kind of hesitant on it because how it looks is very, very weird. So I don't know what to expect. But since it's the guys who did Persona 3 through 5, I do have a little bit of faith on what they're doing. So we'll see. Once Human has a street date. It's coming out July 9th. So we got 3.5 weeks to get ready for that. Yeah.
Love that. I can't wait for full release.
I will. Once Human. Got
Once
it.
Human. Yes. Yeah. So, let's see. Let's see. Batman. Oh, this one kind of, I don't know. Look, I kind of want to get y'all's y'all's opinion on this one. Batman Arkham Shadow Batman Arkham Shadow on Meta Quest is they showed a story trailer of it. This is basically in the Arkham universe, and this is a direct sequel to the Arkham games. I don't know if you never played the Arkham games, Smitty, right?
I have played a little bit of the first one, and I just restarted it back up not too long ago. I have not gotten that deep into them at all. I haven't played any other one. All
right, so this one I was disappointed in seeing because this one's going to be this is a VR game, and also it's going to be the main bad guy is the Rat King. So I was like, that's a C class felon, that's going to be holding up the game, that let alone in the Arkham universe that everyone knew and loved when people were growing up to seeing the series, and then you're putting it on a VR of all places and stuff, and to see and see what's going to do. I feel like this game is not going to sell. And that's why I find it very disappointing. And it's made by Rocksteady too, which is even like, wow, it's like more salt.
Oh, it's a Rocksteady game?
It's a Rocksteady game. Yeah, Rocksteady's making it. So I was like, yeah, I don't know. I'm a little bit disappointed in it, but that's what it is on that. There's also, let's see, Street Fighter 6 did an announcement of their Season 2 DLC players. They had Bison, Terry, Terry as in Terry Bogard from Fatal Fury, Mai Shiranui from Fatal Fury, and I'm missing one. Oh, Elena from Street Fighter 3. So they had an awesome trailer of Terry Bogard and stuff, which is going to be the first time ever for Street Fighter to bring in an outside character from another fighting game into a Street Fighter game, which is cool. And if any of them, Terry Bogard, Mai Shiranui, perfect choices on this. People are kind of 50-50 with Elena because Elena was super annoying in Street Fighter 4. But I'm like, okay, but we gotta get good and go through those shenanigans again. So that's fine. And Bison looks like freaking awesome. It's like, I just cannot wait to see how it's going to play. Am I going to play him? Hell no. I hate playing Bison. So we'll see. We'll see where that's going to go. Yeah, man. But yeah, so we got all of that, dude. Like, there's just so many freaking craziness that was happening with it. And they had a really cool animation of it. And then they also did an announcement for Fatal Fury as well. The new Fatal Fury game, City of Wolves, with B. Jennett was one of the characters that they just announced, and she's going to be coming back because she was in Gairu, Cry of the Wolf, in the original one, and now she's coming back again in this one, and she's going to probably kick some crazy ass as always. So yeah, there's been just like I said, just a ridiculous amount of different kinds of games. I'm not going to go through all of them, but just real quick, there's like two or three more I'll go through, and that's it. But the last two, like Alan Wake 2, they've announced that they're going to be releasing physical collector's editions as well. And then starting today, the DLC Night Springs is officially out, so you can actually go out and get Night Springs, the Night Springs DLC. And DLC is a little weird, we'll admit. So because it's going to be, they said that it's going to be episodic right now. The first DLC set is now 3 episodes, and it's scenario based too, which is very weird. So I don't know what to expect on that, but
it's kind of like how the game is, though.
Yeah. So I mean, that's going to be really up your alley, Lex. To be honest with you, because I think you're the only one between us is doing something with it.
But is she though?
That is true.
Listen, you sit down, sir. Sit down. How many games have you started and not finished? I don't want to talk about it. I had one game that I started and haven't finished. Sit down. You've got like 500. I don't want to talk about it.
You've been waiting for Alan Wake 2
I know.
for so long.
I know. Okay, listen. Right. I got the new computer. I had to restart, and then I'm taking a mental health break. You sit down.
Okay, so the First Descendant really has also official release date July 2nd. It's going to be coming here very soon, which is going to be, I think it's going to be wild when that game comes out. So we'll see how that's going to what happens there. Also, Power World also announced a new, like, they did a lot. You know, they did a lot of different things in this one, which I'll give them credit for it if it all comes out in that time. There's a new island, a new area that they have, a new boss. I think they're adding PvP like versus now that they're switching over to, and like they're adding a lot of stuff. So hopefully we'll see where this is going to go. There's going to be more information about that here next week. So stay tuned on that. Valorant is coming to consoles, which I had no idea that they were not on console.
None of us did. Really?
For the longest of time that they were on, it was multi-platform, but nope, it's been on PC this whole time until now. Crossplay, I don't know what crossplay for what. Crossplay for.
I think she means Power World.
Power World. They didn't say if it was crossplay for Power World. So we know it's coming, but I don't know if it's going to be coming this soon. So we'll see. Then there's also a brand new trailer that continued on with some new monster from Monster Hunter Wilds, which is going to be next year. Not an official date yet. And the final video that they brought out, which was freaking awesome, was a Souls-like game of called Phantom Blade Zero. This game is going to be it's a PS5 exclusive, I believe, and it's going to be look like the battle system looks freaking crazy. So I cannot wait to mess around with it and see where this goes. Because but for the most part, yeah. So I mean, like I said, I kept my expectations low. They did it. I think they did a good job on releasing on the big games, mixture with the indie games. The indie games and the overall, feel and pace of it was actually very, very, very fulfilling. So there was not really a lot of boring parts on it. So what about you, Smitty? What do you think about Summer Game Fest so far?
I've been grinding Destiny 2 so hard this week. I didn't really even pay attention to it. I caught a video of some of the things. I caught a little bit of Day of the Devs. I thought it was, it is what, again, there's a big difference I feel in feeling wise between E3 and Summer Game Fest. Summer Game Fest is kind of an extended, we're not looking to just, I don't know, come out the gate and just blah, and then it all be downhill. It's paced. It's timed out and how they deliver their stuff, where E3 was hey, one day, we have this thing and bada bing, bada boom. So, they showed some good stuff. There wasn't really, again, this year, for me, this year is more about discovering, independent games, indie games, and just stuff like that. There's not really anything, AAA wise that I'm like, oh, I absolutely have to have this. So I mean, there's some things like Sparking Zero. I'm definitely going to be getting that. That's going to be dope. But yeah, I'm excited to try out the Power World stuff. That's something that we knew about again when they first announced and they brought in the new raid boss and whatever. They announced that we have more content coming during the summer. So when that's supposed to be at the end of this month that releases, or when does that big update for Power World?
I don't know if Power World had a date on when that was coming out. I'll check here.
Okay, yeah, but that was good. There wasn't. It's funny that he said that stuff about the Batman VR, because I thought it would actually be cool to be Batman. I am the Knight.
I do.
You know what I mean?
I do also like the Rat King story. I might be one out on the wind here with that one, but I was kind of excited, and then I heard meta, and I was like, oh man.
Yeah, I mean, everyone had a weird gasp on it. It was weird. It was actually kind of fun. It was actually kind of funny though too, because when they announced it, the people are they were happy. They were psyched to see it. They was oh, it's going to be on meta, and oh. It was just,
and there goes all the air in the room.
Just deflated, it's oh God, here we go.
For me, the big things really that I'm looking forward to is Once Human. If you know me, I've played it, in the testing phase and stuff like that. So I love it as a survival game. The story is fun and interesting. There's a lot there that they can do with it. So I'm excited for that. And the First Descendant. I played a bit of that I missed the last test that they did, but I was a part of the previous test. And in terms of looter shooters, it felt like it checked a lot of the boxes off in terms of there being an actual story, the loot variety that I was getting. I don't know. Again, you don't really know about how good a game like that is until you've gotten to the end game, and then you're doing the loop and seeing what the loop's about, or how fresh, they deliver content, having some sort of roadmap or whatever. So I haven't looked into it. Now that I have an official date, I can start putting my mind on it and all right, let me look in and try to plan some stuff out, because I really enjoyed the game.
Yeah,
So
that's true.
yeah,
That's
overall
cool.
it was solid. I'll check out the Microsoft stuff tomorrow, and I'm just catching videos, just kind of recapping whatever they have. But
Yeah.
I don't feel like I don't feel like I'm missing anything not watching it. I can catch a
Right.
recap. You know.
Pal World. Oh, the update of Pal World is going to happen June 27th. So, so far they said that.
Soon.
Yeah. So far they said that it's going to be a new island, tons of new pals and subspecies, challenge a new raid, and hard mode bosses, plunder an enemy oil rig, expanded buildings, new level cap, and more. Xbox dedicated servers. So I don't think crossplay is happening. Not yet.
I don't know.
So,
I thought that meant that maybe it would be, because that was the issues that they didn't have dedicated servers.
Oh, was there?
Yes,
Yeah.
originally. So if you purchased it through Microsoft Game Pass, like you purchased the game, or if you got it through Xbox Game Pass, you could only have a 4-person team because they didn't have enough dedicated servers at the time. I think that is what was changing, and that was what they meant by crossplay originally. So whether you purchase the game outright or if you had Xbox Game Pass, you could do that in crossplay. I just looked it up and I was like, is Steam in the Xbox, whether it's Game Pass or outright purchased through the Microsoft Store, will it crossplay? It was like,
Interesting.
Oh, it still won't?
no.
Oh my gosh. Terrible. That's Exoprimal all over again.
So maybe we all misunderstood.
The difference with Exoprimals in this is the fact that Exoprimal was fully released. This game is still in early access, so they're building the game.
So maybe
up.
It's something that exactly. Maybe it's something that
maybe
they bring.
Right.
One of the big points to me though is, and this is one of my, I wouldn't say necessarily issues, but this is why I eventually get bored with games like these. There's no kind of story or anything. It's like Monster Hunter World for me. It's like, what's the point? I'm going to do all this stuff to get a new hat. Like,
yep.
This is nothing. This does nothing. Like, I don't, there's no story I'm following. There's no, you know what I mean? There's other things where, like, again, I would like to be able to create my own base and still be in a clan. That's stupid that I can't. Or, you know what I mean? Like, I don't like, let me have my own individual things. Don't contain me within a stuff. So there's still a lot of work to be done, but this is quite a significant update in terms of that game and features and things like that. It's good to see that they are actively working on the game and putting out more content.
Yeah, well, that's a good sign. Especially the amount of content that they're adding for this is definitely a good sign. Especially since it's only been what, 4 months since the early release announcements. So at least you know that they're actively using the money that they got from that to good use. So we'll go with that. So, well, yeah. So Summer Game Fest was a good time. Definitely looking forward to it. Stay tuned for some more announcements probably this week. Like I said, tomorrow I'm going to be streaming the Microsoft stream tomorrow morning. I believe it's in the morning. Yeah. So we'll and then go from there. So there you go. So anyways, Lex.
My turn. So what he failed to say about Summer Game Fest is that Blumhouse finally unveiled the first game and the ones to come in the future along with it. So they gave us a pretty big roadmap. But first, and I don't know if I just hadn't noticed it previously, like what developers they were working with, but they're working with Half Mermaid out of Brooklyn, Eyes Out, which is an art house game developer in LA, Cozy Game Pals, which is a Steam developer, Perfect Garbage Studios, which does like diverse narrative driven games, Play Me, which is a mobile game developer, and Vermilia, which was originally part of the Embracer Group acquisition in 2020. So looks like they're not part of the Embracer Group anymore, and they are out of Karlstad, Sweden. I hope I said that properly. I did look up how to say it, but sometimes Google's wrong. so that was really intriguing to me because we were really sad that, you know, a lot of these tinier studios that had to leave Embrace are kind of getting screwed over. But the first game to be released is called Fear the Spotlight. Now, I played a game recently that reminds me a lot of this, and I got Scorp Kitty, and I went over and played it with her, that this kind of reminds me of. So basically, it's a third-person horror game. You're following Amy and Vivian into the school after hours when a seance goes wrong. You solve tactical puzzles, but most importantly, stay out of the light. So this is right up my alley. Along with the games later to be released, a life sim called Grave Seasons, which mashes up the quaint farming of Stardew Valley with a serial killer murder mystery, which is funny to me because recently Dust tried to tell me that Stardew Valley was actually a super dark game if you discovered certain things about it. And I was like, what are you talking about? And I did like a Reddit deep dive. Couldn't really find any findings of this, so I think he's lying to me. The next game, now, I don't know, in what order these 3 games are coming out. So there's Grave Seasons, a sim, Sleep Awake, which is a first-person psychedelic horror game set in the future, which actually looks like it's going to be a Smitty's alley. And then Chrysal Theater of Idols, first-person horror and action game where your only weapon is your blood, and how much are you willing to sacrifice? Which I took notes. All sounds super interesting to me. I'm excited. I like what Blumhouse puts out. If you don't know, they are the people that put out the Five Nights at Freddy's movies, the movie called Megan, which I watched with Schmitty's little ones.
You watched that with the Smitty's kids?
The littlest suggested it, and then the older said, yeah, let's do that. And I'm texting Squirt Kitty like, is this okay? She's like, yeah, it's totally cool. Are we sure about this? So yeah, I was the one that was spooked. I mean, I was playing it up a little, but the little was comforting me, which was fantastic. So yeah, they put out a lot of really good movies. And then A24 kind of spun off of that. But yeah, I was really excited when they had announced that last year. And we weren't sure, are they making their own studio? Are they working with other studios? We didn't have a lot of information. So it's kind of cool that like not only are they releasing these games in production with these companies, but they're working with a really well-rounded group. So there's going to kind of be a little bit of everything, not just the horror. It looks like you're going to get a mobile game at some point. So I'm really intrigued at what they're going to put out in the future, because obviously I like my horror games, but these look really good. And I don't like just sometimes, you know, having like a Texas Chainsaw Massacre is fun and fine and dandy, but like there's times when I want to play like an old school feeling game it's horror, but it's mostly puzzles and this, that, and the other. You know, I like a little nuance to my games, so I'm very excited about this. What did you guys think? Did you see the Blumhouse announcement at all?
I didn't. I saw that, or I either that, or I like read a report or something. It was in a report. But my thing is, all right. If you can clarify, are they helping? They're not developing. They're publishing it.
They're publishing.
Yeah.
Yes. So they're the ones publishing, but they're working with these studios, and they all seem to be very small studios, which I like. Sometimes you get worried in situations like that with like a conglomerate working with a smaller developer. Like, are they going to screw them over? Like, we have to watch things play out before we can kind of make our judgments on those things. But yeah, it looks like they're the ones publishing it versus, you know, these other companies that they're working with. And it looks like, you know, oh gosh, which one was it? Cozy Game Pals. They're a Steam developer. So they're exclusively throwing things up on Steam, it looks like, for Blumhouse, which is really neat. So
yeah. I think it's interesting because I always feel like it's there's so much, especially now, kind of melting and of media in general, and how people are getting them, how they're produced, how they're published, all that stuff. So I'm kind of surprised that we haven't really seen more companies leaning into that, especially looking at the stats of the video game industry, how much money is there. It kind of surprised me. We don't see more of that, like film or whatever in the game genre. We're seeing it more and more, and companies like investing and putting things into this. So I love it. I think time will time will tell in terms of, especially with them being the publisher, how they price it. I think pricing is going to be something about it. We'll look at the marketing of it. I think that will be interesting to see, because they've already gotten in-house, production company and video, so seeing how much some of that stuff kind of translates, into their marketing and how they go about it. And I think it'll be a good first step in, them kind of being like, here we are as a publisher world, do you like this or not? And I think it also, as a brand in totality, could be huge for their brand, because that then can drive people to go and watch their films. So they're just, we're seeing that expansion and growth from them, and just utilization of the video game industry and communities, and that melting together. I think it's really smart on their part.
Yeah.
I mean, if they do it right, yeah, I totally agree.
Yeah.
So as far as pricing, this could absolutely be wrong. I had to use the Wayback Machine. So it looks like Fear the Spotlight will be released on Steam September 15th. Now, I could be wrong, but I'm seeing two price ranges here. So $9.95 or $11.99.
All right, so indie prices.
They could be both prices. Like, one of them could be just the game itself, and the other one could be the one with a little bit of extra
you get like the soundtrack
or something
or whatever.
like that.
Yeah.
But
so I could be absolutely wrong, and it'd be $30, but that's what the Wayback Machine is telling me. So don't quote me on it. But
most of these games that Blumhouse is doing, I think, are super indie. And I think that to kind of get their foot, not necessarily a foot in the door, but rather to kind of keep the brand of what Blumhouse is making themselves to be, which is like, the horror brand essentially. I think I like the fact that they're embracing it and trying a different kind of medium to keep up with their with the bigger picture of, like, because when you think of Blumhouse, you're thinking of all the films that they've done, like Five Nights at Freddy, Megan, and some other ones. I mean, they're making Five Nights at Freddy 2 here. They announced yesterday. So it's cool. I'm definitely for it. And I like the fact that they're diversing their library, their overall portfolio library, of saying, hey, we're not just a movie company. We're also supporting indie developers to get their visions out, and then we're going to help them publish it out. I mean, taking a piece of a little bit of that pie, but we are nonetheless doing it, So yeah, I mean, I think that would be a great. I think this is. I mean, I don't see any downside of any of it, to be honest with you.
Yeah, same. Unless we find out later down the line from one of the developers, like we got screwed on a payment or whatever. I don't think that's going to happen, though. I have a really good feeling about this.
They're smart as a brand. They they know, they know what they're doing, I feel like. And I feel like even just what everything that you're saying, it's like, oh yeah, that's all part of their brand. Indie people coming together, giving you different styles, but within that, little really addressing the subgenres of a niche genre.
Which I appreciate, because I like puzzle games, but I like the horror aspect into it. And like with Fear the Spotlight, they, in Steam, it'll say similar games to, they're giving Outlast Trials and Little Nightmares as their two similars, which I found really interesting. Because if you look at, we showed the video, it looks very, very much like a game I played with Scorp Kitty, and now I can't remember the dang game.
I'll ask her.
It was a PlayStation 1 style game. Yeah. Is it on this computer? Oh, the TARDIS key. Which that company, thank you for sending me that, by the way. I've played it like 6 times. I like that game.
Mm-hmm. So, I mean, like, yeah, I mean, it's going to be, yeah, I mean, am I going to play it? Probably not, but like,
don't speak too soon, because I think Crystal Theater of Idols is totally up your alley.
I saw that too. I mean, like, I wasn't.
I'll watch you play.
Yeah, I'm just gonna watch you play.
I'm not playing that one. That one. Well, maybe. I don't know. We'll see. It's very Dark Soulsy to me, and I'm like, I don't know if I have the time and energy for that.
We'll see. But no, it's cool. No, I mean, it's cool. Like, it's good to see. I hope Bloomhouse. Do you know one company that has blown up, like, that I was noticing? Netflix games, man.
Really?
Like, yeah. There's so many games that they have their hands in. I was like, I totally underestimated it. Like,
this is a part of Summerfest?
And they're working on native usage within the Netflix act.
Netflix.
I have that around here somewhere.
Yeah.
Hopefully,
you have no idea. Like indie game. Well, first off, I have a friend that works in Netflix games, and but he says that like the amount of no one knows the amount of developing studios Netflix owns, because they've been on the DL, like, for the most part they've been on the DL, and then the studios that they're usually picking up and acquiring is usually for phone games and stuff normally. But at the same time, at the same time, those same companies are also doing indie projects for PC and stuff like that, and then they're also going to be supporting that stuff to say, oh yeah, you can sell it on Steam, but you can also, but we're going to put it on the servers as well, the AWS servers and stuff that they use, and provide it as a free game for people to play, like, on the if you have a Netflix account. And I'm like, holy crap. Yeah, but dude, like, I am so surprised, like, how many games said this is a Netflix game. Like you'd be surprised. Yeah, just keep an eye on them.
They've been working silently.
Yeah,
they've been working silently.
I wonder if they have I want to say offshore account. That's not what the term, but similarly, where like they are for their gaming section under a different name for the contracts they sign, so that we're not seeing that right in the open. You know what I mean? For it to
I don't think that they're trying to hide anything. Yeah. I just think it's just kind of floating underneath everybody's radar.
I don't think, Yeah, I don't think that I don't think that most people, when people think of Netflix, they're not thinking of gaming. They think of movies, and they also think of like streaming services. But then when you see the studio, and then you see, then you see the logo next to it, Netflix Games next to it, you're like, holy crap, really? They own,
Netflix, you know what that logo looks like.
Yeah. So
and they've just been working. They're just working and building it up. I remember when we talked about this, when we first started hearing about it, it was just like, oh man, I was like, that's great and all, but like the interface of it is terrible. You got to go outside and go to the app store and do this. For them to have it directly in, not only this, but the other thing that's important is what's happening over in the EU and UK with their Digital Markets Act or Marketing Act or Markets Act. I'm sorry, will at least pave the way for Netflix to be able to do in-app stuff if they were to do this. It's like everything else. Feed it to the people, get them addicted, and then start charging them. You know what I mean? Eventually, I think it might. I'm just saying that's a bit of ways. They're just baby step building it, and I love seeing them. They've been just putting. They're not talking about it. They're just being about it.
Yeah, they're basically just going in their own lane and just working with what they're working with. I mean, I'm pretty sure. I guess they could be like, yeah, we could afford losses and stuff if we needed to, but no, they're just doing their thing, man. So, anyways, but keep an eye out, man. Like, won't be surprised. It's like, oh, Netflix games is it's owned by Netflix. So yeah. Anyways, Smitty, why don't you close us out? What is your topic?
Yeah, speaking of things that we've talked about or other times, I know that here, at least back in February, and this is, let's take it a little further back. We talked about it when the PSVR 2 was first announced, and this is no surprise to anybody. Sony and PlayStation has always been very much about proprietary accessories, which is a pain in the you-know-what if you've had to try to get their camera or any of that stuff. So PSVR 2, of course, is proprietary to PlayStation 5.
Oh no, shocker.
Out the gate, we were like, that's a mistake. That's a big problem, especially in the VR space, which is already in itself a niche space. They were moving like we were still in COVID times. Them times are, you know what I mean? Like that was like, it ain't like that. The industry isn't like that. So they announced we're working on compatibility with PC. Now, this is just me put on my tinfoil hat. But I feel like this was kind of a ploy because ain't no way. When's the last time you saw somebody say, hey, we're working on this thing? And then 4 or 5 months later, you're saying, here's the release date of it. It's coming in August. I think August 17th or 7th. I can't remember exactly. I feel like they probably already, I feel like, had something in the can. The big caveat about this is that it's not an easy way to do it. You have to buy a proprietary box from them that essentially is a display port that connects from the PSVR 2 directly into your PC, into this box, which this box then display ports into your PC as an out, so you're able to then play Steam VR games on your PlayStation VR 2. So it's just like, man, it's like you guys made it so it couldn't do it, and you say if you want to play them games, it's gonna cost you 60 ducats. So that's kind of lame. It's just like, it's not surprising at all the route that they are going with this, but it's like, why do you guys like literally
hate money?
It's the person that it's the people that I'm gonna create a problem and the fix for the problem.
Right. I think they got themselves in a corner, I think, because of because I think there were they put themselves in the corner itself on the whole situation with the PSVR because of two factors. One of the biggest factors is that they closed most of their first party studios down that were working on VR games. And when they did that was going to show, I mean, on the outside, it's showing that Sony isn't thinking of, in the long run, that PSVR is going to be as marketable as they thought that was going to be for the longest of time. But yet at the same time, they decided that they thought it was a good idea to release a $500 virtual machine, a virtual machine that was supposed to be like the next for their VR brand, and unfortunately it failed. I mean, it legitimately failed for the most part. So I think that, because I mean there was definitely an uproar of PSVR 2 owners that were saying, what are we going to do? I mean, this thing is going to be basically useless if y'all not going to be supporting these kind of crazy games and stuff. We still want to use it. Excuse me. And now I think they kind of responded back on when it came to that, to be like, wow, these people already spent $500 on a system, let alone like $500 on a system that wasn't really a true system unless you had a PS5 with it. So you had to spend another $500 for it to work correctly. And then
wait a second, step back. Did you just say that the PSVR only works if you already have a PlayStation 5? I thought it could work on its own. It only works.
No, you have to have a PS5 for it to play.
So it's essentially $1,000.
Yeah.
Well, plus tax, you're looking at 12 something.
Yeah.
And then you're gonna say, well, we fixed it. Here's a $60 fix so you can port it to your PC. Do you also still have to have a PlayStation to
No, you just need that $60 adapter for it. But like, to be honest with you, like if they need it, like they really should give this to the people themselves. But hey, this is
I'm sure they have a short list of all the people that own the VR. Just mail it to them.
The specs aren't even the same though
What?
through this display port. You would
Shut
not
up.
get as good quality as if you were playing PS5 natively as well. So there's only so much,
There's a
that
half-ass
is
fix.
just.
But this is the
crazy.
same. And to be honest with you, this is the same company that also is charging people to pay for a vertical or horizontal stand for the new generation of the PS5 that didn't change anything. So it's not. It's not surprising.
I'm sorry. And we already know too that they stopped production on the PSVR 2 because of the low sales number. So that was reported here, like I want to say like a month or so ago.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we knew and we called it that they were going to be struggling to get these things off the shelf. And why this wasn't out the gate, we could see money.
Yeah.
It's a tall tale, man. Like, dude, no one was gonna dish out. I mean, like, there were obviously people that dished out some for it, but God, dude, that's a tall order. When you're hitting over $1,000 for the thing, you're hitting PC pricing at that point. And it's like, why would I deal with that? Go out of my way just to spend this much just to get a head visor to.
It's like the Apple Vision Pro, dude.
Yeah,
it's like, and at $3,500, like y'all thought that is like, clearly you guys didn't read the room and the economy, because that is, I mean that thing alone has already dropped $1,000.
Oh, it did?
People ain't
spending
yeah. Oh, absolutely. Yeah, so people aren't, especially something niche, it's not there yet commercially. The best thing that was out there was Quest, when they had it in such an obviously the pandemic helped boost those numbers, but people were buying them and getting them because we were all stuck indoors. Let's get this novelty thing that will sit there and collect dust now that things have normalized.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
That was a lot of our gyms during the pandemic.
Yeah, and there's still uses for it, but like, we're just
honestly,
we're just not there. We're not there.
No. Well, and here's the thing too. Like we have a VR. I love our VR headset. Here's the problem. I'm little. I'm 5 feet. If you can't tell, these two are monsters standing next to me, and they're average human beings. So getting that thing to fit on my head comfortably is just, it's not there. Even with attachments and things. But I have the Help Wanted 2, which is a Five Nights at Freddy's game.
Yeah.
I played it twice, and I told Adam, I was like, man, I just really wish this was on like PC. And he goes, oh, well, don't worry. If you purchase the game, you'll get the PC version of this in like 6 months. I was like, I'm going to wait. I'm going to wait.
Oh, yeah.
I like the thought of VR. And then once I'm in it, I'm just... For workouts during COVID, it was great. I could play my little music game, get some cardio in, and feel better. Now, I think the cat plays with it more than we do. You know?
Yeah. So I mean, is it like
people don't think things through.
I guess it's a good thing that to say at least they give you the option for it to not be a total brick. You can actually use it for your PC if you want to, but at the same time, it's like, dude, we knew this was going to go one way or the other, and
this is just like the camera issue with the PlayStation 4. That's how I started streaming. Do you know how hard it was to find one of them suckers?
The PS4 camera?
The PS4 camera. Best Buy. I got in with the Geek Squad over there because a couple of them used to work for Circuit City on the Fire Dog team up at another location. And I went in, I was like, man, you guys, like, I need a camera for my PlayStation 4. They're like, good luck. There's like a shortage right now because it's proprietary. I was like, I know. If one comes in used, will you call me? And they did. But it took like 2 months, and that's how I started streaming in 2018. I got a camera. I would set it up on books. I would open one of my like sock drawers and like stack my books and my camera, and God forbid a cat came in the room, it was over, you know?
Yeah.
But I just don't understand why they knew there was going to be a problem. They already had the fix for it. I'm telling you right now. And now it's a little too late. Sorry, you missed that boat. What okay.
Well, like I said,
I feel bad for people
like
that bought
children.
On it.
I don't feel bad at all. Like, I really don't. Like, hey, listen,
them kids.
You had you had the extra income, and then wanting to think that like, dude,
right.
it's writing on the wall with what they were doing with like what the games that were coming out on PSVR itself. I mean, and don't get me wrong, there were some good games on there, but to say like
the ones that were coming out looked great.
I'm going to spend $500 on this thing. If you had the money to say yes, I'm going to pay $500 for this thing, and then deal with it and stuff, and then at the same time you were complaining that you can't play it on PC. That's on you, man. Like you dug yourself to believe that Sony knew what they were going to do, or that they were going to back it up. So I mean, and now with this adapter, it's like at least, like I said, at least you don't have to find a jerry rigged way to get it working on your on your PC, you know. So there you go. So hey, it is what
Davis
it is.
Basically just said, "You're adults. If you got involved with the cult, that's your fault.
It's on you.
It's on you,
big dog.
Government ain't coming to help you."
If a child is the one that bought it or that did it, well, let's face it. There's no way in hell that was the case. I don't believe that the kid just openly said I want to get PSVR 2 and then they're like, here you go. No, these are all adults that are doing this stuff. So there you go. Oh man. But anyways, folks, thank you for listening to episode number 222 of the CFG Game Cast. Thank you for being a part of the conversation. As always, we will be back again next week with a whole new set of topics and stuff. But if you did miss out on this episode, that is perfectly all right. We do release this episode. We release each and every episode at the beginning of each and every week. So there is absolutely no reason to miss out on our sexy voices. Guys, so be sure to check out our website confixgeeks.com and check out the stream tomorrow for the Microsoft stream for the show, the Microsoft showcase on our Twitch page, CFG Games on Twitch. So once again, this is Davis, Lex, and Smitty signing out. Y'all take it easy.
Okay, well, bye bye.